2, baby! Yeah! Oh, yes, I'm so excited to finally be sitting down and watching some good old Indy action. All the flaws that Formula 1 had are going to go straight out the window. Today is the day where everything that was wrong with F1 will finally go away. I'm so excited! Yeah, Indy! So let's see what we've got in store for this exciting race.
Back home again in Indiana, and it seems that I can see the gleaming candlelight still burning bright through the sycamores for me. The new moon hair and all its fragrance from the fields I used to roam. When I dream about the moonlight on the waters, then I long for my Indiana home.
Okay, that was a bit disappointing, but nevertheless, it's only the start of the programme. We have more than 2 hours of proper racing action to go through. So who do we have today? We have Jim McKay, that's a name I recognise. Sam Posey, I think I recognise that name. And... Jackie! Oh my god, he's here! Oh my god, I'm so excited! Chris Economaki, also known as the Economan, is here with us as well as Bill Fleming, Clyde Lee, and last but not least, Jack Whittaker. I want to imagine them as if, like, Ted Kravitz had the responsibility for the entire broadcast. You know, I think I'm getting a bit too worked up about this. Maybe some commercials can soothe me down and get me pumped up for the race.
I've pushed a lot of ships around this harbor. I haven't lost one yet.
If you've got the time,
Some Miller's for my crew.
Miller's got the beer.
You know what? Never mind. Take me back to the race. The practice and qualifying for the 1982 Indy 500 was a bit depressing due to Gordon Smiley suffering a massive accident in turn 3, which killed him instantly, which closed the track for 2 hours. After that, the qualifying continued as if nothing happened. Yeah, hard to believe, isn't it? So, the 66th running of the Indy 500 had a total of 33 drivers on the grid, with names like AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti, Rick Mears, and Gordon Knobcock Johncock running the race. AJ Foyt had won the race on record 4 times at this point. Mario Andretti won it in 1969, Rick Mears had won the race back in 1979, and Gordon Johncock had won the race in 1973. Yes, the year where there was an attrition rate of at least 2 drivers and a mechanic. No exaggeration. So here we are, guys. 500 miles of unadulterated racing action is going to start any second now. Oh, the 66th running of the Indy 500 is... Oh, come on! Are you kidding me? I thought Indy had this sorted. I left Formula 1 for this? So yeah, at the start of the race, even before the race had even started, we have a crash involving Kevin Kogan, AJ Foyt, and Mario Andretti. 3 contenders out already. Fuck it, more adverts!
You finally qualified for the classic, the Grand Prix. Grand Prix by Activision, a video racing game you play on your Atari video computer system. Every video racing game till now was a trial run for Grand Prix. Grand Prix puts the feel of a Formula racer in your hands, the sound and fury of a real race in your head. But don't get carried away, it's only a game. Or is it? Grand Prix by Activision.
So the race was stopped again, and the outspoken AJ Foyt had a few things on his mind.
I don't know, he ran right square in my goddamn left front. What are you talking about? COVID?
And Mario Andretti, suffering from old man syndrome, said this.
I said, this is what happens when you have children doing a man's job up front. That's what happens.
Alright, hopefully, for the second time, we can get this fucking thing rolling. Alright, it looks like a good one. The 66th running of the Indy 500 is underway! AJ Foyt takes the early lead, while Rick Mears has to settle with second, while Gordon Knobjockey
Johncock
settles for third place, while Jose Garcia, who was Rookie of the Year last year, slows and goes out of the Indy 500. I knew that there were teams and drivers that sucked arse, but how is it possible to suck arse in an oval?
Just kidding. I know it's possible. Don't kill me.
Meanwhile, up front, Rick Mears gets slowly closer and closer to the race leader, AJ Foyt. And as we all know in motorsport, the back markers are acting like absolute cumbags. Fucking wow! But before Rick Mears could overtake AJ Foyt, he gets overtaken by Gordon
Johncock
for second place. AJ Foyt, though, still leads. AJ Foyt and Rick Mears go for a pit stop now, while Cockjob,
For fuck's sake!
stays out. He now leads the race.
Temporarily.
Gordon Dickjoke pits, and now Don Whittington is the leader of the race.
It's what's needed to get that car back out. But back home, it's the old hand jack again. Get it under the car, get the little spin wrench out there, get the hubcap off, and leisurely, in a very peaceful way, get the wheel off. But at Indy, it's a very different story. Air jacks, when that gets plugged in, all four wheels raise off. Two tyre specialists who look after changing wheels alone are in charge of that, while the rest of the crew are working hard. The crew chief is the man who gives the order, who masterminds it all and lets them go.
Wheels in, get ready to go. Go.
To a race driver, the only cost is time.
Gas and tires, that would be $308.12.
Fuck me, that's expensive.
Once the majority of the pack had gone into the pits, the lead went back to AJ Foyt, with Rick Mears second and Gordon Johncock in third.
Finally, you get it right.
But that didn't last long though, as Rick Mears overtakes Foyt in magnificent fashion coming out of turn 3, despite having 3 broken fingers. There's an accident! Tony Bettenhausen's car spins in front of the straight and smashes into the concrete wall and spins to a stop. Thankfully, he was okay. Now there's a shitload of more pit stops during the safety car period, and in Indianapolis terms, this is the most exciting part of the race. So exciting perhaps they need to have a small segment about pit fires to fill in. That's too exciting for people to handle.
The major problem last year faced by Indianapolis car racing was a rash of pit fires during the refueling process caused by spilled fuel. There were several such fires, major ones here at Indianapolis and at Michigan, where the conflagration was so great the race had to be stopped. Many steps have been taken during the winter to minimize the effect of any pit fires. Here at the Speedway, the wall itself has been raised several inches the length of the entire pits. The familiar fire extinguishers are back, and for the first time a 4-inch water line is in the pits, running through each pit with a hose that could flood the pits if necessary in case of a fire.
It's really ironic that they have to use Danny on Guy's car to explain pit fires. During all of the pit stops, now the leader is Tom Sneaver, with Rick Mears in second, Gordon Johncock third, and AJ Foyt in fourth. Now it's no longer the safety car and we're racing once again. How does ABC celebrate this? By showing Tom Sneaver getting fucked up big time. Real motivation there, fucking wow. Danny on Guy's crashes, thankfully not even close as bad as last year, with Terry Sneaver involved as well. But either way, regardless of who you are, you'd most likely want to be close to death if you knew you were going to lose the Indy 500.
During the war years, 1917 and 18, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway was used as an aviation repair depot and landing field for military planes.
God damn it, Pixar!
AJ Foyt has fuel in his cockpit. Yes, that's the thing that used to happen in Indy. Alcohol fuel is known for corroding skin. And considering how old AJ Foyt is, I'm surprised it hasn't already done that. The green flag goes out again, with Rick Mears in first, Tom Sneaver second, Gordon Johncock third, Pancho Carter fourth, and Hector Raback in fifth. Hey, it's Little Al! My favourite wall hitter in the world! AJ Foyt gets out of his car and starts attempting to repair his own car. This is the determination this old fart goes through to win this race. Respect, man. Respect. And now the top two are Rick Mears and Gordon Johncock. But that doesn't last very long as Johncock starts to understeer through the corners and is losing a lot of time. So much for him winning.
This portion of the Indianapolis 500 is being brought to you by Honda Motorcycles. Honda, follow the leader. By United Airlines, fly the friendly sky.
Bill Whittington goes out with an engine problem. You'd think at this point he would make a joke about a specific engine manufacturer, but I'm not. Moving on. The safety car hides itself like an angsty teenage boy and the race resumes. And Johnny Parsons spins. Just thought I'd tell you that, because, you know, we all need to know about the more important things in this race. The safety car comes out again. Shit. This puts Brazil 2003 to shame. And it's not even raining. The green flag is waved and Tom Snever goes into the lead of the race. And not on a somersaulting ball of flame as ABC mentioned not too long ago. Danny Sullivan goes out in an accident. For fuck's sake, another safety car. If I want to watch crashes that are entertaining, I would watch an average Formula 3 grid. Rick Mears and Tom Snever pit, but Rick Mears goes out and Snever doesn't. So the lead is now Rick Mears's with Gordon Johncock in second place and Snever in third. Holy shit, this is a long-ass race. The safety car peels in and we're racing again, and Gordon Johncock immediately takes the lead of the Indy 500 with less than 40 laps to go. Incredible!
Here's the shape of the Indianapolis car reflected a single designer's thinking. Some had Coke bottle-shaped bodies, some had wedge-shaped, some were long, some were short. But with the advent of aerodynamics, the designs have become standardized.
That's cute. That's really, really cute. The race is becoming more and more tense as the two leaders slide through the back markers with ease. Why can't F1 back markers be as competent? Rick Mears looks for a move around the outside, but Gordon Johncock closes the door. Mears tries again a lap later, but Johncock closes the door once again. Holy shit, this is incredible. Rick Mears goes into the pits, and he ends up hitting a slower car in front of him. What the fuck, dude? Despite that, though, he has a pit stop and it goes well. Gordon Johncock goes for a pit stop as well, nearly hitting a back marker like Rick Mears did, but he avoids him and goes into the pits with style, coming out ahead of Rick Mears. Bloody hell, this is unbearable. Rick Mears starts to close the gap to Johncock with only a few more laps to go in the race. My hands are shaking. My breathing is turning from hyperventilating to agonal. This is really, really tense. With only 4 laps to go, Rick Mears is closing every lap. Holy shit, this is going to be close. 2 laps to go. The closest finish in Indy history before this was 2.1 seconds. The gap is just closing and closing every single lap. Oh my word. Rick Mears goes side by side to Johncock on the final lap of the race. But Johncock shuts the door into turn 1. Into turns 3 and 4. Can Rick Mears get a last attempt in? He's going to do it. No! He just loses it on the line. Gordon Johncock wins the 1982 Indy 500. How the fuck did he even manage that? I do not know. Holy shit. What a race. I don't think I've felt that much excitement since Schumacher won the championship back in 2000. That was incredible.